Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our quick publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms, and we have our own apps for Apple and Android. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Incision podcast. Oh, it's tasty part of the season, semi-final football. You know, it's all kicking off, it's all fun, it's all games, and we have two great games to talk about. And joining me on this podcast is my good friend, is my co-host. It's a man that needs no introduction, but we're going to give him one anyway. Themis, welcome back.
It's nice to be back. You seem a little bit more excited than you used to be in the beginning of the pod. Is there something going on? Is there something we want to share with the world?
Well, you know what? I think all our dear listeners need to know that I actually really look forward to speaking to Themis on this podcast. I think they know this anyway.
Yeah,
that's
so
vibes.
Yeah.
That is the reason. But also, I also got another nugget of information. Now, I know it's Ramadan and I am sleeping like a crazy person. I'm completely out of touch with the world and what's going on. But news even reached me in my little woman cave. Themis, Jurgen Klopp contract extension. Let's talk about this. I mean, it was exactly what we kind of needed, what we wanted. I think there was rumours about it. People were alluding to it. But I mean, first of all, I want to get your reaction as a fan and what it means, because I know you absolutely love the guy, and also what it means for Liverpool Football Club going forward as well, because I feel like a lot of people were saying once Jurgen Klopp goes, them wheels are going to fall off.
Well, it's amazing to see that it's kind of a turnaround. The absolute comeback. It's not that we were told that Jurgen is leaving in 2 years' time, but time and again we heard him. We have listened to him, saying that it's not about the project. It's not that I want to go to manage another club or stuff like that, but it's about my life plan and what I want to do in life and what being a football manager at the top club takes out of you. And I remember him mentioning, the way he looked in the pictures, right? Where he signed and how much older he looks right now. And yeah, we tend to think that, they are successful and they are rich and they are, famous. So what a magnificent life they must be leading. And why on earth should they want, to take a break from that? But it takes a lot out of you. So it wasn't that we were told that it's not going to happen. That's 2024. It's the final date. But we were giving the impression that, maybe that's it. Maybe that's the end of the road. And maybe we should prepare for the next chapter. And it's wonderful news. It's amazing news. And it will be even more amazing in 2 years from now to get similar story breaking. That it's a couple of more of 2 years, a couple of years as well on top. But let's not go there yet. I mean, it's amazing. It's what it should be, and I'm thinking that I'm speaking on behalf of every football fan. Maybe not even football fans, but not only LFC fans, but football fans as well. That when they think that this is a match made in heaven. So yeah, they should last. They should. Rivals may not think that way, but every football fan in the world knows what the story has been so far with those two, with Liverpool and Klopp. So everybody would like to see that go on a little bit more, I think. So it's amazing. Actually, I cannot help but smiling as I speak to you.
We can hear the smile on the podcast. I can actually hear the smile. I just think it means so much. I mean, for me, it's more the fact that the players feel probably a lot more settled knowing that this guy is staying. I mean, a majority of our players already signed their contracts anyway, so that isn't a problem in itself. I think it makes us even more attractive to potential players that Jurgen Klopp is staying.
Of course.
I also feel like, I mean, it's quite poetic and quite fitting that we're actually going to say this on this podcast, but he is potentially having a few more years to make us the dominant force in Europe again. That kind of manager. He has the know-how, he has the experience, and it's very, very important to have that kind of manager. This is going to sound really, really catty, but I am that way. But I think Jurgen Klopp should maybe wait for Pep Guardiola to walk out, because I think once Pep Guardiola leaves Man City, I think, they will have a bit of a fall away to the side. Not a huge one, but obviously, you know what happens when Pep Guardiola leaves a team, because obviously he is a very, very special type of manager. And I think that maybe Jurgen Klopp just enjoys those seasons when he disappears.
Yeah,
and
maybe, just maybe, Jurgen Klopp extending is one of the things that Mo wanted. Maybe.
Yes.
Because
did not think of that.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's about the length, because Salah said it's not all about the money. Just guessing. Then what it is? It's the length of the contract. You're turning 30 in June, and you want a 5-year, let's say, deal, and Liverpool are offering 4, something like that.
Yeah.
We're guessing, and can only guess because we can never know for sure. But maybe Jurgen extending his own contract. Maybe it's one of the things that Mo wanted. Knowing who the manager is, knowing the person he's going to work with for the last contract of his career, the biggest contract of his career. I have to correct myself here. Maybe it's one of those things.
You know what? I like your thinking. This is why I love working with you, Themis. Football insight. You get me thinking other ways. You're so philosophical. You're so pragmatic. I am just really, really happy today. Can you tell people Jurgen Klopp is staying on for as long as possible? And that's, as people who know and have listened to me for a fair bit, know just how much I loved this guy and love this guy, and the fact that he's ours. I'm smiling from ear to ear. So, Themis, we are very, very happy with that.
One last thought on that. Last thought on that, because you said what it means for the players. I added maybe it means something with the Mo Salah contract extensions. Who knows? I have to add one more thing. It shows one more thing for me, because Michael Edwards is leaving at the end of the season, right?
Yes.
So Jurgen extending past his original contract, it means that he has absolute faith in what we're doing and what we're planning to do football without Michael Edwards. I mean, for a guy like Jurgen Klopp, I mean, he's a guy that he would honor his contract for sure, because he loves Liverpool, and everybody can tell, and he's a professional as well. So you have the sympathy and the love and the affection, and you have the professionalism. So he wouldn't be the guy that would say, you know what, Michael Edwards is leaving, so everything I did it alongside him, so I'm leaving too. No. But for him to extend means he has absolute faith in what we're doing, planning without Michael Edwards, with James Ward replacing him. So for me, that's a great sign, because we all love Jurgen staying as long as he can, but let's see what the future brings, right? But right now, it's a sign of absolute, from his part, on the project, that he is one of the leaders, because he's not the only leader in that group. And he has famously said that the key to his success and to the club's success is that him being the dumbest person in the room. And being surrounded by geniuses in their area.
Yeah.
And the fact that he is the most amazing guy is that he's supposed to be a football genius. He is not stubborn or egoistic or anything like, or arrogant.
Nope.
And he listens to every single specialist, if you like that word. Maybe we should call them like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have a room of specialists, and you have the leader and the most famous person of all listening to those guys and letting them to convince him what collectively they should all do. And that for me is the number one virtue for me. I've never met him. I wish I could someday, but until that day, if somebody asks me what is his most amazing characteristics, the most special skill, I'm gonna name that skill: being famous, being a genius, and at the same time being open to everything that everybody has to suggest and to bring to the table. So for him to say, let's carry on for 2 more years, it means that he is more than confident the work that it's being done around him. And that for me it speaks volume of what we should see and what we should expect from the seasons to come.
Absolutely. I didn't even think about obviously the recruitment and all, and obviously the scouting, but yep, he has full faith, and I didn't think of that. Before we end, I'm just going to close up the Jurgen Klopp chit chat. For me, I think the highlight for me is obviously listeners know my mum is a Man United fan, and obviously things are not going great for them. And I think she took a lot of comfort in saying this to me constantly, that once Jurgen Klopp goes, you're going to feel this pain.
Oh, she did? Yeah.
Yeah. She went there. And she used to say to my sister as well, who's also a Liverpool supporter, Kia, shout out Kia, I know you're listening. And she constantly said it to them. And it was kind of like, I don't know, maybe her coping mechanisms. Yeah, so I spoke to my sister Kia on the phone today. We just had a chit chat before we jumped on the pod, actually. And she goes, as soon as I got the news, the first thing I did about Jurgen Klopp, the first thing I did was I rang mum and baited her. I was like, you're so nice.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
great,
yeah. So
great family banter. Yeah.
Yeah, it just made me laugh because I think she always said it to make herself feel better, that you're gonna feel this pain, like the way Fergie left for us. And I was just like, I was like, dude, I've been raised in pain. I did not support Liverpool when they were great. That's all I'll say on the matter. But moving on. This is a football pod. But guys, let us know your thoughts about the Jurgen Klopp news on the scale of 1 to 100, and 100 being that you're ready to just shoot through the roof. How excited are you about the Jurgen Klopp news? We'd love to hear your thoughts and your reactions. And maybe share your favourite Jurgen Klopp moment as well, and so far. Right, Themis, back to the business. And this is probably why, we attract great players and great managers like Jurgen Klopp. Champions League football, semi-final, Liverpool versus Villarreal, 2-0 at Anfield. Talk to me about this one. Let's start from the beginning. Team lineup. What did you make of the team that started? I think, are you the same, Themis? I really, really strategically watch Jurgen Klopp's substitutions in the Premier League. And I then kind of try fielding out who he might potentially play. So I'll let you talk about this then. Team lineups.
Well, it's the same story about Matip. The fact that we have to protect him.
Yeah.
And don't let him play too many games in a row, right? And there is the absolute faith that Jurgen has in Konate.
Yes.
Big game after big game after big game, right? No one remembers right now, but he played on Old Trafford. No one remembers because it didn't matter. I could have played there, and the scoreline would be exactly the same. But yeah, I believe that. I could play alongside Virgil that day. Yeah, for sure. I'm left-footed actually, so yeah, no problem.
No problem.
And yeah, no problem at all. Yeah, you got Konate, and I always, I fear that Jurgen would decide that he might need to rest, and I fear that because he's hitting a vein of an amazing form of games. I mean, he's playing right now as the best midfielder in the world, and I fear that maybe they might decide he is the one that should get rest, because I knew that either he or Keita would be on the bench for Jordan to start, and I fear that it would be Thiago. I was so pleased to see that it was Naby instead of Thiago. And then, with Bobby out or Diaz, and we're seeing that Jurgen is so much pleased with the start of Diaz in the red shirt that he said, no, you're starting again because you're absolutely amazing.
No, absolutely, and I love that. I love the fact that he can tinker, and he's not a victim of his circumstances. He can actually pick and choose when and who plays whenever, and these things are absolutely huge. I think for me as well. We're speaking about Liverpool there, and I think from a Villarreal perspective, I'd like to get your thoughts. But I think them not having Gerard Moreno was maybe a big loss for them. Obviously, I don't think many Liverpool fans will probably. I do. When I looked at that team lineup and I didn't see his name, I mean, I kind of did breathe a sigh of relief. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say he's anything superior to our players, but I know that he has been one of the pivotal players in terms of what he did against Bayern Munich and stuff. So it was good in that regard. But again, I don't think he had an awful lot to kind of challenge us overall. But yeah, I was happy with the team lineup. Liverpool attacked the Kop first. I think that was probably the most notable thing that, obviously, like it felt it felt strange, right?
Yeah, I had to, I have to be honest with you. What I did when the game kicked off and I saw us attacking the Kop end in the first half, I had to force myself to remember European nights that the same thing happened and they didn't go wrong and we got the result that we wanted. So I remembered Chelsea 2005 and I said, okay, yeah, no problem. No problem. Yeah, it's going to be fine. I think it was Roma as well.
Was it?
I think it was the other semi-final. Yeah, it was Roma as well.
You've got a good memory. I was at that game. Shame on me.
Yeah, because you should remember that because we saw Alisson concede 5, and then it took him a year to concede 5 in the race at Anfield. And I had to remember. I have to to look back and say, they won the toss, right? So they said, let's do this and let's make Liverpool do things a little bit different that they used to, but no difference at the end.
No difference at the end, absolutely right. So, Themis, let's kind of talk about this game because, I felt like Liverpool started really well. I'm not, I think the thing was this game was played after the other semi-final, which we will talk about in a minute, and that was just chaos. It unleashed chaos. And I think obviously when people watch that kind of semi-final, like the neutrals, and then they come to this kind of semi-final, they kind of think that it's boring and nothing's happening. And I do think, when I kind of talk about the first half of this, I don't know, Themis. I wouldn't say it was, because I think a lot of people thought, oh, this is bad. I just thought Villarreal was set up as they are, 2 banks of 4s. We spoke about this. Yeah. There isn't much space between the defense and the midfield, which makes it very hard for our attackers, especially our attackers who like to run off on things. I felt like our play was a little bit narrow, but then I felt like people like Thiago were spraying passes and expanding the play and making the pitch wider. I started noticing little things. I felt like, they tried their best to frustrate us. And, we had moments, like I think at the 7th minute, we almost had the deja vu of Robertson corner to Konate, but I think Mane got on the end of it. The Salah dink cross, poor control by Mane, around about 11 minutes. You had a Diaz shot in 13 minutes. We were seeing a lot of the ball. We were controlling a lot of the ball. I also was really, really impressed with the fact that we were doing a lot of pressing in this game. But talk to me about that first half. What did you make of it? Because for me, it just felt like more of a matter of time. As the minutes went on, it just felt like this goal's coming. Like I wasn't nervous at all.
Yeah, because you're spot on there. Because it's the confidence that this team has given to us in game after game. Because they know what they're doing and they know what they're facing. And I mean, we played Atletico Madrid twice this year already, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that we don't know how to be patient, how to have confidence that our moments will come and not to be frustrated by missed chances and stuff like that, or to sometimes even the team can, transcend, give that feeling of frustration to the ground or vice versa. No, the crowd knows, and the players know that we are at our best right now. We're comfortable, even if we don't score early on, stuff like that. And as you said, with the comparison to the other semi-final, the first leg at Manchester.
Yeah.
Well, games are a mixture of two things. It's not that one team can decide anything about the game. There are two of them on the pitch. So let's say Liverpool. Okay, we went to Portugal to play Benfica. They tried to defend in the same way, right? They do not know how to do it. Okay. And we have six clear-cut chances in the opening 45 minutes in their home ground, because they set up to do it, but they do not know how. Villarreal know how to do it. Easy as it was in Portugal. Whereas you saw City versus Real Madrid do not know how to defend properly. Their defending mechanism is, a little bit too chaotic for me or for anybody else. Villarreal know how to do it. But what struck me the most is, halftime, 0-0, yeah. And you know what many people call, a scoreline judgment. People looked up and said, okay, 0-0, halftime, and I said, yeah, good result for Villarreal, right? Let's go on Twitter and speak about how great they are in the first 45 minutes of this semi-final, and how well organized they are behind the ball and stuff like that. Well, they weren't. I mean, I know it's 0-0, and I know we didn't score, but at the best at all, because they set out to block us from having chances, which they didn't, right? And they set out to counterattack, which they didn't. So are those opening 45 minutes good for them? They're not. I mean, I looked at that stat, and oh my God, it was halftime in Anfield, right?
Yes.
The player that attempted the most passes for them, and the player that completed the most passes for them, was wearing gloves.
I knew you were going to say that. I just had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yeah. And their goalkeeper made and completed passes in the first 45 minutes. And
how many passes did he make, sorry?
27, 16 out of 27. And he was top of the list for them. And he attempted the most passes in the final third for them through his goal kicks. 6. They had 1 out of 6 attempted passes in the final third, and they were all by their goalkeeper. So, no, it's not good 45 minutes for them. They suffered. They were suffocated.
Yep.
And they didn't defend well, because we had the moments you mentioned. It wasn't like Atletico Madrid or even Everton. In the derby this weekend. Liverpool had only 2 shots in the opening 45 minutes. There was no football playing at all, right? And they were annoying, and they tried to frustrate the crowd, and Pickford managed to make himself a man, actually. Good for him, yeah, good job. But what they tried, 45 minutes, knowing it worked. The first 45 minutes, it worked. We only had a header inside of the box, and we didn't threaten at all, right? That worked. What Villarreal did last night didn't work, and it was only a matter of time for Liverpool to find the winning ways in the game.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, you're right. I think there was only one header inside the box. But, Liverpool, I felt like every time their defenders had the ball, I felt like we pressed them. I felt like we panicked them. We rushed them. Something that didn't happen to them against Bayern Munich. I felt like we were just on their heels. I think, maybe a player like Roberto Firmino would have really, really enjoyed that game yesterday, just the thought. And, of course, and, even like Thiago hits the crossbar around about 41 minutes.
Yeah.
There was a lot going on. Okay, well, you're not going to let us shoot from near, but there were, I saw, Salah doing bits and, showing his skill and, trying his chance and his look on the goalie and stuff. But, you said something, and I'm so glad you mentioned this, because I kind of want to highlight two players from our team. And you said, and we know this, Villarreal, 2 banks of 4, set up for the counter. Yeah, that's what they do. Now, that was absolutely eradicated and snuffed out, and I think it was largely down to 2 men. And I think we have to talk about them, because I think both of these guys had an exceptional game for us. I am, of course, talking about Thiago and Fabinho. They were cutting everything out. Fabinho was literally everywhere, blocking everything. I think he was, putting in defensive blocks. He was cutting out their passes and playing the attack pass. You had Thiago, who was doing the same, lots of tracking back, actually tackling pretty decently as well. Not, from what, I mean, massively improved from what we saw last season. And, just moving the ball, distributing it really quickly, playing a precise pass. But for me, yeah, okay, they were missing the Gerard Moreno, but the skill and the class and the experience and the general bossing of the midfield of these 2 guys was the massive difference why Unai Emery's team could not hit us on the counter. Because Janduna, I mean, Janduna was just completely. I felt like he was done with supply. He had nothing.
Well, at some point, I mean, Thiago is amazing when he has the ball, right?
Yeah.
But we're talking about the defensive side of the game right now. And at some point, you were thinking, watching the game, that these guys, are moving magnets. That it's not that they are there to intercept the ball. It seems like the ball goes straight to them. I mean, every clearance, every pass they try to make through the middle to break through, to ride their luck in the counter, stuff like that. It all ends either Fabinho or Thiago. It's like they have a magnet. It's like the ball always goes to their feet, because they know how to do it. Their positional play is exceptional.
Yeah.
They're very experienced. It's not about Thiago winning every tackle. It's not about his stamina or his tenacity. It's not about that. We're not talking about Stevie Gerrard tackling everybody at the age of 23, 24.
I think it's that positional awareness as well,
exactly,
where they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the football IQ. I mean, that guy's IQ is next to none. I mean, he's a magnificent technician. He can do anything he wants with the ball. But at the same time, he's so smart, not only with his passing and his decision making, where to pass, to go long, to go short, to go the other way, to make a switch and stuff like that. That's dictating the play amazingly. But he's instantly aware of the situation before it actually evolves. And that's what great midfielders like him, like Fabinho, are able to do. That's what Xabi used to do, his prime as well, because we all talk about his quarterback abilities, if you like, with his passing grades. Alonso was great at that. He was a great hitter of the ball, but as he grew, he developed an amazing understanding of the game, and the way each play is gonna evolve. So they're on top of everything. They were on top of everything. I mean, I have a Twitter friend who is a Villarreal fan, actually, from Greece. Yeah. You can find a fan of every team in the world here in Greece. I don't know why.
Amazing. No, it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, and I have a friend who's a Villarreal fan, and we talked and congratulate him last season. And he even got a shirt from Villarreal, because we tweeted them, everybody, in their official account and say, you know, you have a big fan here in Greece, and he was so ecstatic with your win in the Europa League, and maybe you should do something about that, because you don't have many fans that loyal here in Greece. And they sent him a shirt and everything like that.
That
And
is wonderful.
Yeah, we kind of talked about the game today, and he didn't talk about Mane, and he didn't talk about Salah, and on all that stuff. He talked about Thiago and Fabinho. Thiago, because he knows him from his playing days in Barcelona in his early days.
Yes.
And our two bouncers, as he called them.
Yeah.
Yeah. He actually said to me, you know, these guys are terrorists. I mean, I haven't seen them play together because, you know, he's not a Liverpool fan, you know, watching every game. I know Konate, I know Van Dijk, of course, but I haven't really watched them together in a game and to actually pay attention. And, you know, as a Villarreal fan, as soon as he understood that there's no way of bypassing midfield, he was hoping, his team, that maybe a long ball or stuff like that, you know, could get something for his team. But he said to me, these guys are terrorists. These guys are bouncers. You cannot get anywhere near them. So pressing, you do not get through the middle. So you're forced to go long to ride your luck with long balls. And when you do that, you have those guys, and they say, no, not on our watch. No. No long ball. No way. I mean, it's what dominates these days. It's not about, you know, only scoring goals and stuff like that. It's absolutely controlling every aspect of the game. And we're talking about the European semi-final. And I know Villarreal are not, you know, big club like Bayern Munich or stuff like that, but Champions League semi-final, and that is completely dominating football.
But I'm going to ask you something now, just to end on this whole Fab and Thiago combination.
Yeah.
It's very early to say, because obviously, you know, there's been a lot of injuries, but every time they do play together, the stats are pretty phenomenal. I think people always back up them stats, right?
Yeah.
In terms of a midfield duo, I mean, obviously we've had some great ones, and I think one of the most recent ones that people always talk about is the Gerrard and Alonso, you know, like that duo. So in terms of, could these two potentially have like that iconic kind of status? And you know, and where do you rate it in the world? Because you know, everyone always talks about the two midfielders that whole team together. Could this be like the start of Liverpool having an absolutely amazing midfield now? So talk to me about that. Talk to me about where do you rank them? You know, I think they've got a big legacy. Should they both stay at the club and stay fit?
Well, I have to say that maybe we'll have to wait and see until the end of the season, right? Because no matter if we like it or not, but winning trophies counts.
It does?
When you talk about legacy, when you talk about stuff like that. But I think they are at the top. The reason I'm saying this is because, you know, and Xabi, Gerrard and Alonso are, of course, struck in our memory, and for a very good reason.
Yeah.
But it was never a duo, actually. It was only a duo for a couple of months. Because every transfer window, he brought Xabi in his first summer, right? And then he bought Lucas Leiva, and then he bought Momo Sissoko, and then he bought Javier Mascherano. And he did that because he didn't want Steven Gerrard to play in the double pivot in midfield for Liverpool, because he thought that didn't suit his way of football. And he thought that Gerrard would be at his best playing in other roles, because he was an amazing footballer. And he should never be compared to any guy named Lambert or Scholes. But don't let me get there, right?
No.
Yeah. And actually, Xabi and Stevie weren't a duo for long because Rafa didn't want that. I mean, the season after Istanbul, Steven Gerrard played as a right midfielder and he scored 25 goals for us. He didn't play in the center of the park. I mean, he did in some games, of course, but that wasn't the plan. And then Fernando Torres came in, and then he moved up top with Gerrard moved up top to form that unforgettable duo with Torres, and our midfielders were Alonso and Mascherano, and sometimes Lucas Leiva and stuff like that. So it wasn't really a duo, but they did even in Istanbul, right? We had to bring Didi Hamann halftime. we had to because that didn't work. It never worked for Liverpool actually. In some games, maybe stuff like that, but it never really worked. So Fabinho is amazing. Fabinho is class. Fabinho has won everything for Liverpool. Thiago is a world-class midfielder because he didn't play for Real Madrid and he didn't play for Barcelona. He never got the fame that all the midfielders of those teams have. And that's the same because he should be ranked among next to those guys, next to Xavi, next to Iniesta, next to Modric, next to Kroos and stuff like that. But he never played for them, although he grew up in Spain. So in Bayern Munich, you don't get the recognition, and he had to wait long to win the Champions League with them, right? He didn't win it in the Guardiola years because if they did, they would be, much more acclaimed, right?
Yeah.
And he's a world-class footballer, and I don't think everybody in the world knows that.
Yeah. I think, forget the world. I mean, I think there were some Liverpool fans that grumbled at him, and I feel like they are slowly, like just getting silent now.
Come on. It's like he's 25. We're treating Thiago. People treated Thiago like he's 25 years old from, Portugal or Poland or stuff like that, and he has to prove something. It's like they never watched him play football. And what Jurgen said in that press conference when he said, were people saying that he didn't suit our style? Are you kidding me? They did say that. Thank God they don't make the decisions. I mean, we're talking about Thiago. He was the best midfielder in Bundesliga for years. Some people used to call him the Messi of midfield. I mean, I don't know. It's good to follow the Premier League and everything about that. But, there's football played outside the Premier League as well. I mean, come on.
Absolutely. Well, there you go. It was a Fab and Thiago masterclass. Right, second half. I mean, I thought, again, I was very, very confident, Themis. I love the fact that it looked like a goal was coming, that we were edging closer. And I felt like, the halftime whistle certainly benefited Villarreal than us in the sense that, I felt like a goal was coming. 49 minutes in, Fab disallowed a goal off a header. I think VVD was offside. Then around about 52 minutes, I think Diaz had like a glancing header, but no real power.
Yeah,
and then of course, get that right, he didn't get that right. But literally within a few seconds, even a minute, I'd say, Jordan Henderson takes a massive, fortunate deflection, a lucky deflection, and in it goes a goal. Happy days, and I think it was deserved. It was well worked. I felt like everything was kind of going Liverpool's way. And I'll be honest with you, I think we were all expecting that. I think it was a matter of when, not if.
Yeah.
So, the first goal, 52 minutes. And, whilst we're here, we might as well just do this. And then the floodgates pretty much open because literally within 2 minutes, that's Salah ball, to Mane, and he just puts it past the keeper. I mean, and I think there was some grumbles that maybe Mane was offside, but it was just wonderful stuff. Within 2 minutes, 2-0 up.
Well,
so I'm gonna let you talk about both of the goals.
Well, one day, I would like to see a video compilation on YouTube. I don't know, on any other platform of the back-to-back goals that Liverpool have scored with Jurgen Klopp at the helm, because it's an amazing habit that we have. It's amazing how many times we have done that, especially in European nights or in derbies, or even versus Manchester City when we beat them, and bam, bam, you have those goals in succession. And I know it's, you scored your goals, right? You have to score 2 and then you win in 2-0. So you maybe score 1 in the first minute and another 1 in the last minute of the game. It's the same scoreline. But the feeling you get, the feeling that this team gives you when they do that, they used to do that a lot more in the past, but we are still capable of doing that. And there is, I think it's evident of our mentality as a group, the way we approach games. Some teams say, you know, we scored, so let's not get carried away. Let's control the game now. What Liverpool are doing with Jurgen is whenever we score, we attack even more. It's like boxing when you finally land a punch on the opponent's face, and then you say, you know what, he's dizzy now. Let's go for the knockout. Right now, it was 133 seconds, the space between those 2 goals, right? And Anfield bouncing again. I mean, I don't have to remind you, Barcelona and Gini Wijnaldum scoring back to back.
Yes.
They had the kickoff, then the misplaced pass, and that was it. Attacking again and scoring again. I absolutely love what we're doing when we do it and when it works, because you never know when it works. So in terms of the goal, I agree with you. You felt that it was coming. You know, I had a feeling that we're going to score from a corner for 2 reasons. One, because we're amazing at it. And I read that Villarreal haven't conceded from a corner this season at all.
Okay. So you wanted to like put a spanner into that stat.
Exactly, and I was ready to tweet it. I was absolutely ready to tweet it. That goal that Liverpool had just scored is the first goal from a corner that Villarreal are conceding all season. So I was thinking, maybe with open play, it's
and Themis, hang on, is this the first leg that they've, remember we were talking about ties? Oh no, they've lost games. We need to, if Villarreal lose this, is this the first time they've lost in a knockout like tie situation in how long?
They won the Europa League last season, so obviously
they
didn't lose a tie. But last night it was the first game that they lost, not the tie.
Oh, sorry, the first game. Sorry, I'm fasting people. I'm a bit everywhere. But first game that they lost. So we've broken a stat there. We've damaged something for them.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's the first loss. The first time they have to come back to their home ground after losing the first leg of the tie. They haven't lost a single knockout game when they won the Europa League last season. And of course, this season, they haven't lost a game to either Juventus nor Bayern Munich, right? Yeah, and the second goal is, Trent Alexander-Arnold, midfield, as a midfielder, fighting Mo, Villarreal letting Mo face the goal, never a good. I mean, no, don't let him do that, because, he can score, he can create, he can find space, and he can nutmeg Pau Torres to assist Sadio, who is on fire. And I'm guessing a lot of Liverpool fans that were calling him finished last season are absolutely marveling the way he's playing football right now, because his confidence is back. He's an amazing human being, and he just had a rough patch. That is all. Don't jump on conclusions. Don't jump and say, you know what, we have to play Jota every game because Sadio is finished. Don't say, oh, Jurgen finally is convinced that Mane is finished, so that is why he is buying Diaz. How many fans said that? How many said that, you know what, this is a proof that we're planning a life without Sadio, the fact that we're signing Diaz? Maybe half of them announced Diaz, they read that he's a left winger that starts from the left and stuff like that, maybe half of the fans said, "Oh, this is the proof. Yeah, this is where it ends for Sadio, because Jota can play on the left, and then you have Diaz playing on the left. So yeah, that's the bell for Sadio Mane.
Yeah.
Meet your new center forward.
Mm-hmm.
Meet the guy that plays up front, not Bobby, not Jota, that leads the line again and again and again. Meet your new center forward. He's Sadio Mane. I mean, what an amazing thing. What an amazing way of thinking on football right now. That you don't find a team that thinks football the way we do right now. No.
Another
No,
thing
you're
kind
not
of
one.
Yeah, and another thing I think people kind of maybe paying a bit more attention to is the fact that these two are absolutely. I thought the front three played really well, but the amount of assists that Salah tries to get for Mane as well, and all those rumours that these two potentially might not get on is just absolute nonsense. But I tell you what, Themis, a really, really welcomed sight and sound was round about as soon as we scored the second, the Anfield crowd just belt out Ale, Ale, Ale. And obviously last season we missed that because there was no fans. It felt like a proper European night, but just little things like that just bring so much magic to a moment, to an occasion. And I felt like last season football was completely soulless, and you actually really, really do appreciate fans and what they bring, and just exactly how much they kind of cheer on the team. And you know what, on the flip side to that, I actually really quite liked Villarreal fans as well. I think they seem like a good set of supporters. I don't know, there's something aesthetically pleasing about the away fans being yellow at Liverpool. I don't know, the yellow and red aesthetically is just very visually appealing to me on the eye. It's just so weird.
And the old kid, yellow kids, right. Yeah, you're spot on that. And when you talk about the fans and belting ale, ale, ale around the stadium and stuff like that, it's our fourth European semi-final, this stadium with Klopp, and we've won each one of them. The game. I'm not talking about the tie.
Yes.
And it's where we feel that we belong. I mean, you do not get guarantees in football. You don't know.
No.
Until the final whistle, until the final game, if you're gonna win something, if you're gonna lift a trophy or not, and stuff like that. But I think every football fan in the world agrees that Liverpool belongs there, right there, in a semi-final at least. Maybe get knocked out, yeah, for sure. Why not? Maybe lose the final, yeah, that can happen too. But we're right there. We're bound to be right there because it's Anfield, it's European night, it's the stadium, it's the manager, it's the players. It's the atmosphere. It's the feeling that anything can happen if we're talking about a comeback, right? It's the feeling that there's no team in the world that can feel comfortable playing in a European night in that stadium. They're all that together. When we score consecutive goals and the fans sing, I mean, then it's the time when you feel this is right. Oh, I'm seeing Jurgen at my screen right now. You know why? Right now, as we speak. Let's turn that into a radio, not a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a video of Jurgen talking right now. It's 5 seconds long. And I'm thinking, let's play that again.
I'm in love with here and I feel fine.
What the hell? What's he just said?
He said, I'm loving it here and I feel fine. He's singing the song.
He's so funny. Oh my God. I'm going to have to...
I'm in love with here and I feel fine.
Where's this video come from? Is it official Liverpool one?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. What an announcement.
1 minute ago, 2 minutes ago, actually.
Incredible stuff, right? I think all that kind of stuff would be amazing. I can't wait to kind of absolutely binge on Jurgen Klopp content, by the way. I'm just putting that out there, and I'm sure many of you do too. Themis, I thought our fullbacks played really well. I thought our attackers were really good yesterday, by the way. I thought as the game went on, I thought Salah looked incredible. He was doing absolutely filthy stuff, trying to get the crosses in, trying to get the shots in, trying to get the assist, being an absolute nuisance. I thought Diaz was kind of running onto things. I initially thought Mane started off quite poor. Not bad, just not his usual self, but his strength against some of those defenders against Villarreal was absolutely sensational. The way he was kind of winning the ball back, I felt like all three of them gave a very, very different problem and a nightmare for the Villarreal defence. But I thought, the fullbacks were great, and we almost saw a fullback assisting another one. I mean, Robbo was offside.
Yeah.
The Trent fizzed in cross. I mean, I thought Trent was absolutely excellent yesterday, in my opinion. I mean, I thought they played really well, and I just thought in general Liverpool just looked so comfortable and so in control. And talk to me about that. And then obviously Jurgen Klopp making the substitutes at 70 minutes and 79. Jota and Keita coming on for Mane and Henderson, and then at 79 minutes, Divock and Gomez coming on for for Diaz and Trent. And again, I said Trent had a really good game. I think that was more the fact that I think it was managing minutes, saving legs, and I think Newcastle won't be as easy as what people assume because they're on some kind of a confidence bounce. But I've said a lot there, so Themis, I'm going to let you run away with that now. You just have to get things off your chest. But I thought the forwards grew and played really well. The fullbacks for me did really well, especially Trent. I thought Trent had a really good game. But yeah, you take it away.
Yeah, Trent is, growing in every minute. I mean, it's not a talent anymore. He's a world-class player.
Yes.
But he now has, adding things. He cannot hit the ball better than he already does, right? But it's all about reading the game. It's all about being patient, not forcing things, stuff like that come with age. And he's still young, but he's maturing week in, week out in the way he's now he's not playing an instrument for Liverpool. He's orchestrating things, right?
Yeah.
He and Thiago are orchestrating things when they have the ball. And it's amazing to see him being that mature in that so young and orchestrating things and deciding things, where to go, pass back, go wide again, go inside, try for the cross. I mean, that cross to Robbo, I mean, I would have loved Robbo to score back-to-back goals. I mean, that would be amazing. That would be amazing for him, because we know that we have shifted, right? I mean, maybe 2 years ago it was evenly distributed, right and left, Robbo and Trent. But with Trent being almost a midfielder for us right now, we're bound to play much, much more from the right. But that gives Robbo the ability to read the game really well, and against low blocks like Everton, like Villarreal, again, not only to wait for his moment to create something with a cross or stuff like that, but to attack the penalty box area and to try maybe to create a shot. And he scored versus Everton, which was absolutely amazing. And yeah, I would love to see him score again. Message to the world, you know what? While you're paying attention to Trent, I'm gonna be a striker. I'm gonna be a poacher, and I'm gonna be at the far post. So look out, because low block gives me the opportunity to be attacker, not a winger, not for a crosser, not for a cross or stuff like that, not only for that. No. When the ball is on the right, I'm going to be on the far post. I'm going to be right there. Because you know what? Johan Cruyff once famously said that everybody is allowed to get into the box. No one is allowed to stand there. Everybody is allowed to get into the box. And that's what football is all about. And if you read the game carefully, you can do what Robbo did versus Everton, scoring that precious goal for us. Robbo did again versus Villarreal. Not every play, not every phase of the game. No, because you have to be cautious and you have to be aware. But when the moment comes, you can go right there at the far post to have your opportunity. And maybe you're lucky enough and you score. Yeah.
No, it was absolutely wonderful stuff. Yes, and Jurgen Klopp obviously made a little bit more of a delayed sub, but obviously he did make the subs. But overall, Themis, I think we've kind of pretty much discussed this game at length. I think Liverpool just carry on doing what they're doing in the return leg. Just go out there, get an early goal. I think 3 goals would have absolutely put the tie to bed. But hey, you know what? We've got another game and another pod to discuss this. I am very, very happy with this result. Themis, I want to kind of move on quickly to the other game now. And 4-3 it finished, and of course, Man City, Real Madrid. Let's briefly talk about this. I'll give my quick brief thoughts, and then I'm gonna let you talk about it. So, okay, Man City started off really well, get the goals in, and I initially thought Real Madrid were gonna start how they played against PSG at Paris, become quite defensive, be a bit, like, I don't know, uninspiring in terms of maybe creating something, because I thought they were awful that game, and even defending weren't great. They just got sucked in deeper. But obviously they won the tie. That's all that matters. But I thought Real Madrid would take that approach. But Man City come out threatening, guns blazing, and get the goals. And it was a lot going on. It was just chaos. It was end to end. It was chaos. I felt like every chance that Man City had looked well worked, well drilled. I thought Real Madrid's kind of to some degree looked like half chances. And it was like making something out of nothing. I felt like City were kind of inviting some pressure from a defensive point of view. I thought Ederson had a bit of, doing a few suspicious things. But of course, it finished 4-3. But the thing that kind of got me, Themis, was the fact that these goals were just getting better and better and better. And, when you look at the score, it could have been so much more to Man City. They hit the crossbar a few times with the likes of Mahrez. Mahrez, taking the shot rather than playing him forward, and we had all this situation. But for me, the goals just got better and better. I mean, Bernardo Silva's goal, I'm thinking about Thiago. Bernardo Silva's goal.
Who can blame you? Who can blame you? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, Bernardo Silva's goal, was just absolutely sensational. There were just so many crazy things happening. Fernandinho was absolutely sensational for the Foden goal. And then he was equally at fault for what Vinicius Jr. did. I was just like, what on earth is going on? Literally within minutes. And then the Panenka penalty by Benzema, for me, it was just like, it was getting ridiculous. But this game was the entertaining one. I've kind of given my brief, I don't know, brain fart, verbal diarrhea moment on it. Themis, I'm going to let you break it down and be a bit more, classy with it.
Well, I saw a tweet from Miguel Delaney. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right.
Yeah, no.
He had a great read of the game in 2 lines after the final whistle. He said that, well, we basically saw a game which had these 2 vintage storylines of Champions League football from the past decade. One storyline, Pep Guardiola, his team being absolutely amazing, but not getting exactly what they deserve from the game. That's a classic storyline from the Champions League for the past 10 years or so. The other storyline is how on earth Real Madrid are still alive. How on earth are they still breathing? That's the classic storyline. And that was the game in 2 sentences. Because, have you watched Breaking Bad? Have you?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember that famous Jesse Pinkman meme from the last season? Crying about Walter White. He cannot keep getting away with this.
Yes.
This is Real Madrid. They cannot keep getting away with this. And somehow they do. Year after year.
Are you calling him Heisenberg?
Yeah. They're the Heisenbergs of football. I don't know what's going on here. Because, it's game after game, round after round, year after year. They're having troubles in the games. They're not at their best. Long now. They have aging players. They set out to defend, but they cannot properly do that. You have Militao all over the place. You have Alaba. He was having a nightmare.
And he was. Yes.
Yeah.
The way Jesus turned him. Oh gosh.
Yeah. Manchester City had an absolutely flawless game. Flawless. There were individual mistakes for sure. But what are you talking about the team? What they set out to do, the semi-final, they were flawless. They controlled every aspect of the game. They attacked in every way they wanted. They controlled space. They controlled the rhythm. They did everything they wanted. How on earth did you not trust them?
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. You know, it's part of Pep Guardiola's legacy of not getting exactly his team deserves on the scoreline. And on the other hand, you have Real Madrid, the zombies of football. They do not die. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, City played with a back four, right? And we have Rodri playing as a defensive midfielder. Okay, then you have 5 players of Rodri. Yeah, 5 players, right?
Yeah.
Each and every one of them scored or assisted.
Kevin De Bruyne was just running the show, though, wasn't he?
Yeah. Mahrez assisted the opening goal of the day, of the night, right? Kevin De Bruyne, first goal, assist for the second goal. Jesus scoring the second goal.
Yep.
There you go. Then you have Foden scoring the third. And then you have Bernardo Silva scoring the fourth.
Yes.
I mean, okay, you have Fernandinho losing Vinicius. You're absolutely spot on that. You have Ederson. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know. Maybe he thought he was Dean Henderson from Manchester United, you know, waiting in the 6-yard line.
Yeah.
And waiting and saying, what are you doing, man? Get out of your line.
I think you know the Bernardo Silva one. I think that one, like, when I look back at that goal, I mean, it was a great goal from what Bernardo Silva did in terms of like, yep, you know what, the refs allowed the advantage. I'm going to carry on. But you could just tell by Courtois' reaction. I don't know if he thought the whistle or something, but when you just watch him, he was dreadful in his neck.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. But I mean, name a Manchester City player apart from Fernandinho having to play at right back. Most skillful players right now on the left wing in world football, Vinicius and Henderson. Name a single player that had a bad game. They were all absolutely amazing, and they did anything they set out to do. And somehow, it's, you know what? It's 1-0 because the away goal is scrapped. The rule is scrapped, so it's 1-0. That's that. 1-0. Let's go to Bernabeu right now. And who knows? Who knows? I'm not saying that, you know, I don't consider City to be the clear favorites. I used to before the first game, and I still think they are the clear favorites. And by far, the better team of the tie.
Yeah.
But that seems to be facing Real Madrid. How good you are. It doesn't matter how better you are than them. You still can get knocked out. And I have to be honest with you, in the first half, I was thinking, yeah, it should have been Chelsea. You know what? It should have been Chelsea. Because Chelsea might lose the tie, but they would never going to be all over the place like Real Madrid did. And I would love to see a rematch because they won the final last season, right? And they said to City, you know what? Not yet. You're fighting for your first Champions League title, but not yet. Not in your first final. You have to wait a little longer. And you know what? A non-English semi-final with those teams after last year's final would be an amazing spectacle. And I thought to myself, you know what? It should have been Chelsea, not Real Madrid. They do not belong here, but somehow they are now, you know, scared a little bit.
Yeah, they have a know-how in this competition, don't they? They just, I don't know what it is. They just click. They were, you know, this is not the best Real Madrid team. We know this. And, you know, just the confidence in terms of even like Benzema, like that was a high-pressure penalty. It was high pressure. And then he does that. I mean, you just think there's a time and place to do a Panenka, and fair play to you. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember if I have said that in an earlier pod. And I was there to witness Panenka penalty after Panenka, of course, because he was the original one. I was there in the World Cup final in 2006, and I saw what Zidane did to Buffon.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
this is the absolute Panenka because A, it's in the World Cup final,
Yep.
right?
And it's
B,
literally the best versus the best.
yes, and B, managed to score without finding the back of the net.
Yeah.
It's, I don't know, it's trigonometry. I don't know. He hit the bar and then it went in. It went in inside the line, and,
Yeah.
and then it went out. And that Benzema, I wasn't there to witness it in the flesh, but it's as close as it can get. Dan did 16 years ago. I mean, Benzema right now is, hotter than hell. Hotter than hell. I mean, he's by far the most prolific finisher right now in world football. I mean, I was looking at his stats. He's having an expected goals tally in Champions League of 6 goals and 6 expected goals, and he has scored 12. I mean, yeah, okay. Talking about overperformance at the highest level. It's not actually 6 expected goals, it's 5.7. And he has scored 12. And I know City will be the better team in Madrid, but I cannot guarantee anything about the outcome of the game and who's going to get the ticket to the final. No, because I don't know. Anything can happen without Real Madrid. They should be out already. They should have been out by Chelsea. They should have been looking for a miracle in the return leg, in the way they played.
Yes.
In Manchester. They should have been looking for a miracle. You should have been asking me, my thoughts about, facing City in the final, because it looks like they have already.
What they did to Paris Saint-Germain, like what on earth, I think we can agree that they just are. I don't know. They have this weird connection with the Champions League. It doesn't have to be the overly best.
But with PSG, it becomes a PSG thing. You talk about them. You talk about them collapsing again and again and again. Chelsea are a good team. They're champions of Europe. They have a good manager.
Yes.
They're not PSG. Manchester City, they are the absolute elite right now. They would be by far the best team in the world if it wasn't for Liverpool and Jurgen. And they are right there. They have the most amazing manager, the most amazing group of people. So it's not about PSG or anymore. It's about Real Madrid. It's about them, instead of looking for a miracle, being in the tie and, having a little bit of psychological advantage, if you want, because they were happy to lose 4-3. And Guardiola said, and I picked that quote from his press conference after the game, he said, I had to go in the locker room and convince my players to smile and be happy about the result because we won. It doesn't feel like they did.
Can I just say something as well? I'm just going to say something because obviously we're in a title run-in with them. They're our rivals. I know it sounds, maybe this is Man City and they are an exceptional force in terms of what they do on the pitch. But I think that game must have physically and mentally exhausted them. And I look for positives in every possible way when it comes to the league. And in terms of everything, that must have taken a lot out of them because they worked hard. They worked hard. They were on it. And also like mentally just losing 3 goals as well. So you can only hope. They play Leeds this weekend. We'll have to see. But just I just want them tired as much as possible, and I think that's all I can hope for right now.
But the mental aspect. I mean, imagine beating Real Madrid first leg of the semi-final and not being happy about that. Imagine that. He said so. I mean, I'm not saying stuff out of my head. He said so. I walked into the dressing room and I tried to convince them to smile and be happy because we won.
I bet somebody had to do that with him as well. We know he's like that. We know. I've never had a chat with him, but I have a feeling that he is like that as well. Like he would not be happy with that 4-3, and I get that because it should have been so much more for them. They were, like you said, they dominated. Themis, any takeaways from these final games? Or I think we've done quite well with this pod, so I thought we would close it off now. So anything you want to share from the games, and then we can just call it a day.
Well, nothing Nothing apart from the fact that I look forward to talk to you next week.
Next week, yes.
Yes, and hopefully we'll see the Reds wrapping it up Tuesday night. No comebacks, no stuff like that. You never know in knockout stage. You never, ever know.
Yes.
So don't get anybody to talk to you and tell you, you know what, Liverpool are in France already. And book their place in Paris and book your flights and hotel and airports and stuff like that. No. It's knockout stage. Anything can happen, and just experience these amazing weeks with this amazing club, and let's see where they take us come June, come 28th of May, actually. Yeah.
Absolutely. Watch this space. I mean, it's regardless of what anyone says, this is, just so much football, so much to look forward to, and let's hope the Reds get all the silverware that is potentially on offer for them. Themis, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. I love talking to you. I always enjoy our chit chat. But before I let you go, where can people find you on social media? Take it away.
On Twitter, celebrating Jurgen's extension of contract. Yeah. My handle is my last name. It's Kesaris, KESSARIS _. I mainly tweet in Greek, but I will be happily reply to you if you ever tweeted me in English and talk about football, Liverpool, or tips about the Greek islands and the vacations here, whatever you like. I'm always there.
Wonderful stuff. Please do follow Themis. He's wonderful. And you know what? This is a sign of maybe getting old now, because I've just sat there in a world of my own and I was like, oh gosh, you know what? This is an early birthday present for me, Jurgen Klopp signing this contract. So I'm going to marvel at it. And also another fun fact about me and birthdays is Liverpool always lose important games in Europe. So this is like one of the first where we've actually been quite successful. So I'm quite happy with that.
When's your birthday? Today?
It's tomorrow, 29th. I remember we lost to Atletico Madrid in the Europa League. Under Rafa Benitez. I think we lost to Villarreal. I think we drew to Villarreal a few years ago in the Europa League. Basically, I don't get the best results on my birthday. I remember once we got absolutely hammered by Hull City on my birthday. So, I've had some bad ones. But all I'm saying is Jurgen Klopp signing, I'll take that all day. But guys,
of course.
Of course, it's the best. Guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I loved it. I love the news that we've had as well. Let us know your thoughts, and we will be back next week. So take care. Till next time, up the Reds.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at AnfieldIndex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.